Opel, on American executives' orders, produced the Opel Blitz troop transports as well as parts for the Luftwaffe Ju-88 bombers. Americans bombed the General Motors Brandenburg factory in 1944, but after the war, U.S. taxpayers were forced to pay over $32 million as damages to General Motors. GM Vice President in charge of European operations James D. Moody received Hitler's Order of Merit of the Eagle in 1938 for his ardent work for the Nazi war machine. German General von Schell commented in 1941 that without the GM Opel factory, the Germans would have been unable to wage war in Europe. Other payments to the Nazi Party were made by the German electrical firm Siemens. Texas Oil Company, Texaco, was involved in Nazi endeavors through the German attorney Westrick. ITT made a fortune off the Nazi war machine through Baron Kurt von Schroeder's banking group. ITT also held a 28% interest in Focke-Wulf Aircraft, which manufactured the German fighter planes. Nazi armament minister Albert Speer and his Gestapo staff employed IBM machines to quickly and smoothly establish who were Jews, half-Jews, Union members, and card-carrying communists through deals with IBM's Thomas J. Watson, and rounded up over 1 million individuals for torture, execution, or slave labor with the help of IBM technology. In 1940, in an attempt to improve his reputation, Watson gave back the Order of Merit of the Eagle that he received a few years earlier from Dr. Helmar Schacht, president of the German Reichsbank, but Watson still continued doing business in Germany. In a 1943 report by Harold J. Carter for the Department of Justice, an unnamed IBM employee in Europe stated that IBM was an international monster and in a class with Nazis. The corporate leaders didn't mind what their financing was for as long as they received their profits. Obviously, any such exercise of unconstrained and superlegal power is unconstitutional, even though wrapped in the fabric of law-abiding actions, says author Anthony Sutton. Payments were made up to 1944 by Standard Oil of New Jersey to Heinrich Himmler's SS to develop synthetic gasoline for war purposes on behalf of the Nazis. Kurt von Schroeder was Standard Oil's key intermediary in the funding of the SS and technical aid to the Luftwaffe. Quoting from Anthony Sutton's book Wall Street and the Rise of Hitler, Standard Oil's role was technical aid to Nazi development of synthetic rubber and gasoline through a U.S. research company under the management control of Standard Oil. The Ethyl Gasoline Company, jointly owned by Standard Oil of New Jersey and General Motors, was instrumental in supplying vital ethyl lead to Nazi Germany over the written protests of the U.S. War Department, with the clear knowledge that the ethyl lead was for Nazi military purposes. Standard Oil allowed the German Air Force to buy lots of tetraethyl lead to boost the fuel for the fighters and bombers. The German bombs that fell on London came thanks to Standard Oil. The Luftwaffe could not have even flown their planes without the fuel additives supplied by Standard Oil, who, together with DuPont, held the patents. The cast of international bankers who led IG Farben and the multinational banks who financed the Nazis included Max Warburg, IG Farben director and Warburg banker, affiliated with the Bank of England. Paul Warburg, IG Farben director, co-creator of the Federal Reserve until his death in early 1932. H. A. Metz of IG Farben, also of Bank of Manhattan, a Warburg bank, later folded into Chase Bank, managed by the Rockefellers. C. E. Mitchell, director of American IG Farben, also director of the Federal Reserve Bank of New York and of National City Bank. And Hermann Schmitz, president of IG Farben Germany, on board of Deutsche Bank and the Bank of International Settlements. He received a minimal 10-year sentence at the Nuremberg trials. Georgetown professor Carroll Quigley, in his 1966 book Tragedy and Hope, showed that the Bank of England and its leading director, Montague Norman, was maintaining a neutral or favorable attitude towards Nazism. According to the Warmongers, a 1979 book by Howard Katz, a small article appeared in a Chicago newspaper on November 2, 1938. In the spring of 1934, a select